Well, hello there, everybody. You are watching the main viewer. And everybody's like, I know, I'm the one that put it on. So today we're going to be talking about so much good stuff like, hang on, a Captain WORF series. This has been speculated and rumored and questioned and begged and demanded for at least a decade. There's a little bit of news there somewhere, kind of. We're going to talk about it, but maybe it's happening. We'll also talk about there's something called Star Trek Ferengi. What's that? I bet Scott Jensen knows what that is. And I bet Don Crandall knows what Star Trek Ferengi is. There's a bunch of other cool stuff too to talk about. Like the Orville has a new poster with some information on it. And it's kind of feels like the 80s a little bit. It's kind of neon-ish. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's something I'm not even sure I fully understand, but Anne-Marie does. Something from exo6.com with some...
I understand now that I've seen their like stand exhibit at Star Trek, whatever it was called. I'm like looking for an acronym. Mission Chicago, I guess is the official name.
All right. So everybody, by the way, that voice you just heard is an actual medical doctor. She's our resident web crawler. You know her as Anne-Marie Siegel.
Hi.
We know her as Anne-Marie Siegel too. Matching me today, totally coincidentally, with her, I partied with the Lower Decks shirt. You know her from the Seventh Rule and from Virtual TrekCon and Falling Tower occasionally, Melissa Longo.
I keep hearing about this Melissa Longo, and I'm wondering who it is.
She's pretty cool. You should get to know her.
Also, we have somebody that says nice things about everybody all the time because he's just a bundle of positivity. He's also a doctor, but in stuff that I don't really understand fully. He's also an occasional science advisor for Star Trek. He's kind of a big shit in the college realm, by the way. His name's Dr. Muhammad Noor.
Hello, pleasure to be on the main viewer. Thanks for having me back.
I didn't mean to cuss there. He's big stuff.
He's among the rose smelling shit stuff, poop, doo-doo.
I thought I was the only one that ate roses. My name's Ryan T. Husk. Have I eaten roses before? Oh, actually, I have eaten rose petals. Yes, I've eaten rose petals. And our good friend Jurassic Jen, who I don't see in the live chat, she knows this to be a fact. So does executive producer and writer Paul Hickman of The Assassin's Apprentice and director Russell Emanuel and actress and stunt actor Tara Page. A lot of them know that. Anyway, we got a lot of people in the live chat. Let's say hello to David Gregory, Scott Jensen. He says, got you, homie. DJ Kitty Cat, Mr. WORF, Fire, Medallion, Posters. Oh, yeah, he says. Wayne says hello. JR Pooled, Early Nam Detected. War Dog Heim is here. Chuck A says hello to all of us. DeQ is hanging around. Lots of people. We will say hello to all of you.
Wait,
how's everybody doing?
Named Mr. WORF Fire in the live chat?
No, DJ Kitty Cat said,
okay.
Mr. WORF, Fire.
Okay. I was like, how did I miss that handle?
That would be a pretty cool handle.
Yeah. Wow. Do you guys have a fun weekend?
Yeah.
Ate a ton of food for the holidays.
NX7062 says, and he loves Enterprise.
Yes, Enterprise love.
Oh, I was like, wait, who does? Mr. WORF Fire?
Maybe him too.
Yeah, Enterprise.
How was your weekend, Ryan?
Good. I got a little bit of Easter candy. I got a little bit of Easter candy, and it was just fine. The weather was beautiful. The weather's beautiful today.
Yeah.
Man, it is hard to not be in a good mood during the springtime. Boy, oh boy, except for allergies.
I know. Same. I wake up with runny eyes and sneezing all morning long.
We have this meme thing. This meme that gets circulated around all the time. So it's called like the 12 or 13 seasons of North Carolina. And we're right now between one called the pollinating, which is like that's when you like go outside and as cars
God,
go
my
by,
worst
there's just these
nightmare.
big puffs of yellow come off the street. And the next one, which is called the mud season, which is when it just rains a lot. So we're kind of right in between those two.
Fun,
There we go.
fun.
All right.
That's
So
a
let's just.
ringing tourist advertisement.
A what?
That's like makes me want to go tour
Yeah.
the Carolinas.
Yeah, that's your travel thing.
Yeah.
Your travel advertisement.
Sounds like Ferengi.
Okay. It sounds
Very
like we're all
interesting.
just excited to find out what this big Captain WORF
Yes.
thing is. So here is the first item up for bid. No, that was like, what was that? That was The Price is Right, right?
I think so.
Tell him, here's today the first item up for bid. And he would go like this. And we'd be like, well, today we have
Who
a
is-
matching spa. No,
Well, they'd always get excited. A new car.
Yeah. That's the big one.
Chrysler LeBaron.
Who
Okay.
gets the closest
option.
without going over?
That's the one,
That's the one.
which is usually TJ. He goes, $1.
Yeah.
A new car. Okay, here we go. Okay. So this is an article that came out, I believe, today from heavy.com that says
Captain Michael Dorner's Wharf.
that questions that opined. Oh no, it was yesterday, way late last night. It says, is the third season of Star Trek Picard really the first season of Star Trek Captain Worf?
Interesting. Here's the thing though about this so far. Eric Paciola is a good Star Trek writer. I really like his article.
What was the
That's where-
basis for thinking that?
Well, Muhammad, see, you would never fit in the Twitterverse. Okay, people don't read articles. They see the headline and they go, "Yep, fact." That's it. It's a Captain War. It's probably going to be in like September or something. That's when it's probably going to happen before season 3 of Picard.
Yeah.
No, we'll look at it together. My first guess is that and by the way, that's where Anne-Marie, that it was his Twitter where I saw it, Eric's Twitter.
Oh yeah, I have him on First Sword.
He tweeted it out. Great
Good
writer,
article.
great Star Trek writer. Shout out to Eric, and which is also my brother's name. It was his birthday 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Eric.
Happy birthday, Eric.
Yeah, he's not watching. So
I don't know. He keeps coming up in my Facebook recommendations.
this is a different
Maybe.
this is a different platform.
Okay.
I'm just guessing that he's thinking, look, if they are introducing Worf back in Picard season 3, we know this to be certain. He's probably going to be introduced as a captain, right? I mean, this is what they're always kind of going for, but that doesn't mean it's a certainty. We don't know that for sure at all. This is just a guess. So I'm thinking that he probably means more of like almost like a backdoor pilot where Captain Worf or Worf as a captain gets introduced in season 3 and therefore opens the door for a new series, because Michael Dorn was pushing hard for a Captain Worf series
Really?
for a
I hadn't heard
long
about
time.
that.
He was personally hoping for it. But what were you going to say, Mohammed?
Where did we leave off at the end of Deep Space Nine? Because I remember in the alternate future in All Good Things, he was like a Klingon ambassador or something like that. But I can't remember where we left off at the end of Deep Space Nine.
That's where what he was going to be doing. He left with Martok
He
to
left with Martok.
Kronos, I believe, to be an ambassador.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I couldn't remember for sure. I remember Martok being the chancellor. But I can remember what Worf was doing there.
Yeah.
So one interesting thing about this article and everything else is that I feel like, so when everybody was going crazy on Twitter like a month or two ago about if Picard was actually ending in three seasons, and then there was like all of this like controversy where people would say, yes, we finished wrapping, it's the end of Picard. And then other people were like backpedaling and saying they weren't sure yet. And then And then like from that, like Akiva Goldsman, and then from that, everybody was saying like, well, does that mean there's going to be like a movie coming out of it, or does that mean like something will happen where that's like a backdoor pilot? So I think like basically you could surmise like every single thing from now on is a backdoor. I guess season 3 could be a backdoor pilot, and we just won't know. But obviously, Captain Worf is a fun one to think about. Also, my other favorite, like, not backdoor pilot, but hypothesis involving like Worf as a major person in season 3 is if he like gets the TNG crew together to go look for the emissary, which would be a really fun Deep Space Nine.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think that will happen, but that's been like some fun murmurings if you're having insomnia late at night on Twitter.
Paramount, you need to add Anne-Marie to your writer's room for this Captain Worf series if it's not too late.
Whoever said it. But I was like, yeah, because like when you see Worf with all the TNG cast and it's all being announced, you're kind of like, oh yeah, wait. I personally forget he was on like a Deep Space Nine main cast member. And I was like, wait, of course he was on Deep. Well, I just get so wrapped up in the TNG moment when you see like him with everybody else from TNG. And then I was like, yeah, he did have those big seasons. Like it would be, that is kind of like an obvious way to tie in Deep Space Nine more, even if he just like mentions what he's been up to.
His last thing would have been Nemesis, and he was there with them in Nemesis.
Yeah. And there's always that controversy of like him barely mentioning Deep Space Nine in the movies, and then also like randomly showing up on the ships while Deep Space Nine's going. But that would be a great tie-in, and he is kind of like, I guess he would be a choice of somebody who that is in a spin-off or backdoor pilot. Although a lot of people were saying it might be Jerry Ryan. I just don't know.
Oh, the Fenris Rangers series or something like that.
I'm guessing we'll get articles like basically going through all of the cast.
Wow,
it's all just speculation at this point. Because,
But Jerry Ryan as a Fenris Ranger series lead with Michelle Hurd, I think would be really, great. Now, but does Jerry Ryan want to now do a third Star Trek series? Who knows? But that could be really cool. That could be really cool.
Or also, maybe it could be like a spin-off of a Star Trek series. So they're not so involved with Starfleet or the Federation per se.
Totally. And that's what the Fenris Rangers would be. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They were also
that
saying
would be so interesting.
Like a lot of people when they were wrapping season 3, like Akiva Goldsman and maybe Alex Kurtzman too, were saying in interviews that whatever happens in season 3 like really shakes up the timeline, but also has a lot to do with the TOS movies. That kind of like also makes it very confusing. Like, how will that, like, what would that spin off like? I don't know. I mean, one thought's kind of Worf's grandpa or great aunt or whatever from Star Trek 6.
Oh yeah, that's right. One thought building off of what Melissa said too is they could have a Fenris Ranger series that has Seven and Rafi, but not necessarily as main characters, but just as recurring people. So it's kind of like this just gets the ball rolling, and then like another set of people are the main cast, and they just periodically pop in or not.
Well, the other weird thing was that she was one of the people who was like straight up tweeting, "This is the end of Picard." Yeah. So I don't know if she would do that if she's like knows she has a spinoff coming up, and like I don't know what the angle would be.
Or yeah, she's kicking Picard out the door because she's going, all right, good, it's time for my show. Here we go.
My show now. Oh my God, is this a repeat of Kes?
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
Oh, poor Kes.
Yeah, so and we haven't even looked at this article yet. We haven't even, we're just speculating off of it. Well, no, what about this? Like say Deep
like
Space
like
Nine.
Golden Girls. Picture this.
Yeah. Picture this. The World 2025. Captain Worf is premiering. You look behind Captain Worf in the background on the main viewer, and you see 2 familiar faces from previous Star Trek series. Who are those faces? So the reason I'm thinking about that is because look, Deep Space Nine had O'Brien and Keiko, that we recognize. Voyager, obviously they had Quark, but they had Tom Paris, who was basically Nicholas Locarno. They also had a Vorik, Sarek. Oh my God, what was his name? Vorik and Torek, whatever, Torek combo. So, they like to have people that you kind of recognize. In Section 31, we'll certainly have Ash Tyler and Emperor Giorgio. So if you were to guess two characters, they could be characters that were just in one
Ash
episode.
Tyler, I don't think was announced. They were like hinting at it, but I don't think we've heard anything official about that. But yeah.
What's that?
That Ash Tyler would be in Section 31.
Oh yeah, no, that's just a guess, but
That's my
it's
dream.
pretty.
Yeah.
I think
They
he was affiliated. Yeah,
They kind of alluded to that when they left their time
Strongly.
period.
I just mean
Yeah.
like articles and like tweets by him. But yeah,
From the finale from season 2. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would love that.
yeah. Just
And
like if there's a
Laurel.
Starfleet Academy series, we're kind of guessing maybe Tilly might be involved in that somewhere. Possible, but certainly Ash Tyler and Giorgio we know are affiliated with Section 31 in a way. So if they do have a series, there's a good chance. I don't know. What do you guys think? And everybody in the live chat, let us know two characters. It could be as obscure as you want. It could be Lieutenant J, for example. Can be
And Tosk.
his hell. Not
Tosk
Tosk. I
and Tosk.
told you already. Not Tosk.
The Adventures
Aw.
of Lieutenant J and
That's-
Tosk.
kidding. I don't
That's
know.
what Scott says.
That's a bit of a like Babylon 5 spin-off.
Speaking of
says,
Scott, I
We
believe
want Tosk.
the actor that played Tosk was named Scott Johnson, not Jensen,
I
but
just listened to an
anyway.
interview of his the other day. I can't remember. Yeah, he's awesome.
Captain Tosk.
Tosk.
Alexander and Martok. Oh, that's interesting, Chuck A. I don't know. What do you think, Mohammed?
Garrick was one who came to mind. That would be really interesting. I would love to see that happen. I can't imagine it would, but that would be really, really cool. I was trying to think of who would pair well, because you kind of want either somebody very similar or you want like the odd couple thing. And, the easy, like the low hanging fruit would be say Bashir, but like, let's do somebody different. It'd be kind of like Garrick and Taurus. That would be interesting.
Ooh, who's the second one?
Alana Taurus.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that. More Balana.
Ooh.
That'd be
Need more
intense.
Balana in my life.
That'd be an odd couple.
Okay, here's how I'm thinking about this question. What would lead to the funniest promotional boxes from Paramount? Like, I would like to think that a WORF spin-off series, you would get a promotional box from Paramount that's like all Klingon paraphernalia, which I feel like would be a cute thing to have in your house.
Mm-hmm. Prune juice, Gach,
Well, also you need a new
bad
letter
parenting
opener.
book.
Maybe like a letter opener with like one of those Klingon knives to replace
Yeah,
the Lord
that's
of
a
the
good
Rings
one.
one. Yeah.
That's a good one. A paperweight that's just like a forehead ridge
It's a spoon. If it's
for Cardassians.
Oh
terrible.
my god.
Oh yeah. So what were you saying, Mohammed? Who do you got?
I said Garrick and Balana Taurus would be an interesting
Right.
combo.
Right.
Because it would be, because you can imagine Garrick would just totally get under her skin constantly, and she would get so mad. But at the same time, I bet there could be some like respect both ways too. So it'd be interesting to see how those two characters would develop with something like that. I can't imagine either of those actors going for that, but it would be cool to think about.
Would be a good one is the EMH, played by Bob Picardo, still, because you could really see the EMH getting under Worf's skin, like really kind of being like,
Oh yeah.
Mr. Worf, are you
That's
feeling
fun.
okay? You seem you seem flush. Your heart rate is elevated, or whatever. Like, and he's just like, I do
Seems
not
like he's
know
going
why
through
we need a
Klingon puberty
holographic
again.
doctor here.
When he goes through Klingon puberty, I feel like he's very private about his medical history, and the doctor always like blurts out medical history facts about other people in front of other people. Worf would
DJ
not be amused.
DJ Kitty Cat says Neelix and Tuvok, so we could have another Tuvix episode, but then Worf does it totally differently. Like he just kills him immediately. It's like it ends in a second. He doesn't even
Oh
want-
my god,
But Tuvok's a great answer. I think Tuvok would be great.
Yeah.
that is fun.
And because like with Riker on the Titan, there were recognizable characters. In the books, they had Tuvok as one of the characters, and there was another one. Oh well, Deanna Troi, of course, was with him, so there were some recognizable characters there. What do you say, Melissa?
This is a difficult question.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna say definitely Martok would be there because that just makes sense. And maybe O'Brien and a statue of Nog in the background.
Yes.
But I don't know. Maybe throw in Kira because Kira should just be in everything.
She's just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm racking my brain trying to think of people that weren't just like 1 or 2 episodes or a handful of episodes, like say like a Barkley, but I don't think Barkley
I
would.
love how like Star Trek brings in one-offs and like minor characters. Like I thought Barkley shines so much in Voyager, and then it's really fun to revisit people from like TNG, or I'm really looking forward to the outrageous Akana showing up in Prodigy. I love when Star Trek does that. And if it so happens that the guy from the Shield who was in that Voyager episode with the time,
Michael Chiklis.
It's so crazy because it's such a Shield Star Trek crossover having this guy in the main cast, that like FBI guy. But I'm really looking forward to if it turns out that he's playing the same character that he did in Voyager. Like, I love how Star Trek does that. So really anybody.
You pick somebody totally random, like Ayala from Voyager.
Yeah, or
like
how
name
funny-
came up all the time. Like I don't even remember what he looked like. I just remember there
Laura.
was
Or
like
it would
Ayala.
be if,
Laura,
like,
I was just about to say.
you love Laura. Or
Twinsies.
or like if the Borg Queen now had turned out to actually have been assimilated girl from Oasis with Renee in that Enterprise episode. Like,
Ooh.
I love how that was like one of my favorite fan theories that didn't come to fruition this season. But so I think like, yeah, really any one-off is always fun. I just love the
about, like-
continuity and character building.
How about like an Ensign O'Brien, and it could be like it could be
Mm.
Molly, or Molly might be a
Kirayoshi.
lieutenant by then, but Kirayoshi could be an ensign, something like that. That might be really fun.
Kirayoshi
or
did Kira.
or Cisco's other kid, or
Oh,
both
Yeah.
kids.
Joe.
Yeah, or Sirach.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott Jensen says, Worf, Tusk, and Morn racing a baby changeling. I'd watch that.
Kimber Spores. I like your idea, but I'm going to say Ensign Harry Kim would be a good one. She said Captain Harry Kim, but I think it'd be funnier if he was an ensign 22 years later or whatever it is.
You could pick somebody from Lower Decks and say Tendi. It's on the ship with Worf.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Bartendy. I was thinking of somebody else and I can't remember it offhand now. Oh, like what about the one dude that ended up being promoted to lieutenant junior grade at the end of the Next Generation episode Lower Decks?
Lower Decks.
Remember how there are like 4
I
or
knew you
5
were
of them?
gonna say
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Right?
that guy.
He might-
I
I
forget
want
his
to know
name.
way more about that, like sous chef bartender.
Yeah, no, he'd be great as
He'd be great.
like as the Guinan of the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because back then he was just kind of like Guinan's underling, but now,
Yeah.
you know,
You're thinking of the Riker, the young Riker guy, basically.
totally.
From wait, where was he from? Alaska versus Canada? Wasn't that the like he's trying to suck up and like says the wrong? He couldn't even like suck up to Riker because he got where Riker was from wrong. So they
That
weren't
was
even in
such a
the same
funny
place.
dynamic,
And
though.
it's
I really
so
loved
painful
it.
to watch. No, I do not want him getting this spin-off. It's too much.
That reminds me of the Lower Decks Hawaii thing. Remember when
Yes.
Boimler was trying to suck up and say he was from Hawaii? And
Ah,
all
Yes,
were faking it.
exactly. I love that they called that back.
Yeah, or maybe just Miles O'Brien. Maybe they are going to be stuck together forever. So
Seska's son. Wow, Kimber Spores.
let's pull up this article. All you need with nerds is like a title, a heading, you know, a subject line, and we're like, what about this guy?
I'm
What
like,
about
did you say
that? What
Worf?
about-
Like click.
Yeah. What if it's a Nyber? What about if he's the captain of the Nyberide Alliance ship? Because remember how he was going to join the Nyberide Alliance, and now he finally
What
can
is
do
that
it.
again?
Naomi Wildman.
Mhm. That was, I think it was
Oh,
the Way of the
was that in-
Warrior
Yes.
when he just arrived at Deep Space Nine and he just wasn't feeling it and he was getting all mopey and he said he was going to leave. And I think maybe O'Brien was like, where are you going? He said, I'm gonna go join the Nyberite Alliance. That's all I know about the Nyberite
God.
Alliance. But
So
Worf and
emo.
O'Brien would be the odd couple in space, though.
so here's the article, Muhammad, since you need to know information before you go nuts on it. So
Oh, I
after the
like this one
announce-
by Thomas Supernan in the live chat. This is what I've always thought for years needs to be a show. Beverly Crusher medical examiner with Tuvok. I feel like Star Trek's so ripe for medical examiner CSI type. And Tuvok's so great at investigating.
the USS Pasteur.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That'd be fun. So so this is heavy.com. And hello, Thomas Supernant, by the way. Thank you so much for
Hello.
joining us. We can't wait to have you on our show soon. Looking forward to it. So it says,
Oh my God,
after
you got
the
a nom.
announcement-
You were a folk at Star Trek Las Vegas.
Hmm?
You guys got noms. You were folks or nams. You were folks at Star Trek Las Vegas. Okay.
Yep. Oh, there we go. After the announcement by Paramount and multiple official social media accounts associated with the Star Trek franchise, that the original cast of The Next Generation would return for season 3 of Picard, fans were nearly moved to tears. Maybe some were. The fan reaction was similar to what happened in Las Vegas in 2018 when Patrick Stewart shared the news with folks at Star Trek Las Vegas. Some fans said they were floored. Some said they would faint from this news. Okay, let's get to where he starts. There's Michael Dorn. Here's all the people.
It's like
Heavy
you tap my
produced-
phone.
Heavy produced a roundup of where these characters have been since we last saw them. That included the non-television and movie sources considered canon, like Star Trek Picard Countdown, comic books from IDW. Well, that's your first mistake. And Star Trek Picard, The Last Best Hope, authored by our good friend Una McCormack.
Woohoo.
Oh, there's Captain Woof.
Woof.
These books, blah 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 blah. Okay, where Worf left Starfleet to become an ambassador, McCormack's book had the Klingon return to service. He was to take over as captain of the USS Enterprise E when Picard left to join Raffi. Oh, very interesting. For now, Dorn has been campaigning for years now. Dorn has been campaigning to get Worf back on television. We definitely know that. Misspelled Gowron.
Yeah, I was wondering like Gowron.
Oh.
There was another typo in the article too. But
Yeah, it happens.
it's okay. It happens.
That's
I
one
still
of
like
those Star
you,
Trek
Heavy.
words that are hard to
There is no honor in misspelling Gowron's name, though. Everybody knows.
shit.
He's dead. He doesn't count.
Dorn says, I thought it would have been good. I really did. I thought it would have been different, but still Star Trek. It's one of the great mysteries of this business that it hasn't been done. So he's really pushing for it, right?
And he wrote a
Did the check
script,
before-
Yes, he did.
which
Yeah.
Oh my God, the ultimate Star. Every time there's been a new episode of any Star Trek since 2016, everybody rushes to the internet and says, "Is this Assignment Earth?" And then it was so funny that last week was finally Assignment Earth. So
Yeah.
I don't know what and also there's been a Guardian of Forever. So now I'm like, wait, what are people going to surmise every week? That's been like a broken record on social media. Every single new episode.
Is this a sequel to Spock's Brain?
Oh, yeah, that could be the new question. That can be the new question. Like now that those two are taken, I just don't know what people will talk about.
This does mention Assignment Earth
Exactly.
in
it
this
does.
article.
Yeah.
And
Not
Gary
Spock's
7.
Brain.
Always. Well, people are still wondering if Laris, like Orla Brady herself actually did tweet like, here's me like looking hot in like Los Angeles. And maybe sometimes with the cat too, like teasing that she could be like Isis the cat. But anyway, that's enough TOS talk for you.
That sounds boring. So yeah, basically that's the extent of the article. It closes with, since the character Worf has appeared in more episodes than any other in franchise history, it goes without saying that he is popular. And this would fit in nicely with the ideas shared by writer Rihanna Rose Gonzalez, who said it's only a matter of time before a protagonist with a non-human perspective is introduced. A show about a Klingon captain of a Federation vessel would certainly fit that bill.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. Talk about a different perspective. So good. That's such a great idea.
Yes,
Cool to
well
see
done.
Shran series too.
Eric
See the
Pisola.
Andorian
I want to see a Shriv series. The Andorian who was on the virtual premiere for Star Trek Card, who was running the bar.
Oh yeah.
And giving the trivia questions to people who called in. He was very fun. But anyway, I guess you guys were cruising, or some of you were cruising through it.
Okay. If there were a Captain Worf series announced, how high would your excitement level be, Melissa? You're already making Klingon faces just thinking about it.
Well, I have to say, I really love Worf, even though he's a bad dad. But I love Worf.
He's a bad dad.
Just because I don't know. So I would be very interested in seeing where they take him and how he's matured or not, or if he's become a better dad than he used to be. But I love the idea of a protagonist that is non-human and non-Federation to be the center of a story.
Totally. And Chuck A says we could cling on to a Worf series.
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not ready. I'm not sure if I'm ready for the emotional roller coaster of Worf needing to find love again. It always takes so much feeling. Like you fall in love with his relationship and hope he's happy, and then the person dies. I just don't know if I'm ready to go through all that again.
Or maybe he doesn't find it. Maybe he finds that love in Alexander.
Well, he's going to look very different because he was super thick and beefy.
So hard.
He was like he was like a tree trunk before, and now he's a thinner tree trunk.
Well, it could be something that comes with age.
Mm-hmm. But I do wonder if they did have a show, if they would like try to pad him up or something, because it would look really strange.
You can get the Dr. Bashir chest
a
pad.
super thin, not just a super thin Klingon, but a super thin Worf when we're used to seeing a big guy. He'll still be 6'4", but he's definitely, he got very healthy and very thin, and he's vegan. And so he definitely will look
also
very,
been
very
articles about how Michael Dorn is vegan, so you can expect Worf to look like trimmer. And like, I love the things that are getting Star Trek articles in like mainstream media.
And Marie, you should have that article ready for us. This sounds like a stellar article to talk about.
I know, it's really good.
He could be the first Klingon to introduce vegan gach.
Oh yes. Well, also it's like an advertisement for Klingon calisthenics holodeck episode. Like he's like Richard Simmons of Hologram.
Yeah. If they do the series, I hope they introduce like a suite of new characters too, and they don't just try to like rely too heavily on just ones we've seen before.
Certainly.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's what I was thinking, one or two recognizable faces.
Yeah, exactly.
But then like obviously 5 or 6 or 7, new people.
Yeah.
I know people have died, but like I would love to have learned. I wanted so much more of Worf's baby nurse, who came up in that episode where they go to Kronos and like he's first on trial or whatever with his cottage Picard. But I love that scene where they go find his baby nurse like in a deteriorating part of the town, and she used to like date Kempak, and she tells him that he used to be a lot thinner. I just wanted so much more for her and for Mila. Like Garrick's perhaps.
I love Mila.
Those are the two I would give a spin up to, I think.
I shed a tear when she perished.
Yeah, that was sad. I was thinking of her too. She was great.
Somehow not dead.
What about Chief Engineer Rom?
I thought you were going to say Argyle.
But he's But he's
Grand
Grand
Mom.
Vegas.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no,
true.
you're right. That's
Good point.
he doesn't need to do. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to get his hands
Waste
dirty.
extraction.
I'll just buy a new engine.
Never again.
Yeah, that is very true.
Oh, I like this one. Maybe Worf is already with someone at the series start, possibly Lieutenant J.
Lieutenant J. Good.
Maybe like Troy, he's with Troy
Yeah, it's like
again, and they
Burnett.
just keep going back and forth.
Oh my God.
They have an open relationship, you know. Troy's like, who am I in the mood for today?
No, I think I saw something that said that Troy and Riker had an open relationship, but I don't
Yeah.
agree that bringing the Horgon statue necessarily means that.
Yeah, what was up with
Yeah.
that this week? Everybody
think
was like
I think people
putting words in people's
surmised
mouths.
that if Riker and Troy are going to have a fun, romantic getaway to Risa, and they're like, do you want to bring the Horgon statue, the one we usually bring? Cool, great. That doesn't necessarily mean they have an open relationship. In my mind,
Yeah.
that's just like if I say, do you want me to bring your favorite condoms? And the wife says, yes, I do. That doesn't necessarily mean I mean to use them on other people, of
But
course.
why are you ever using ones that aren't your favorite? But we'll put that in that.
But they may have been alluding to the idea of when Lita and Bashir broke up, but I don't know.
That was
I
a
don't know
Bajoran
why.
tradition. It's true.
It was a Bajoran tradition, but neither Troy or Riker are Bajoran. So although they couldn't, it doesn't mean they couldn't pick up some cultural traits.
That's true. That's true. Good point.
Yeah, so that was I'm not saying that they don't have an open relationship. It's totally possible. I just didn't see that line as pointing to directly that doesn't mean anything to me. It could mean that, it could not mean that. It doesn't, it's not a
I'm like a major Troy Riker shipper for like 37 years. And I think that they used to be open and that they aren't anymore.
That's a lot of
Whenever-
math. That's extra. Those are extra years.
34
in there.
years. Whenever TNG came out. I think the canon is accepted that they used to be open and now they're not.
Maybe Worf is with Pulaski.
Oh my God, I wanted them to hook up so bad after that tea ceremony that like ended with kind of a really sweet note. And that what's the episode? The one with like Darren
Mesh.
Asher or somebody.
It's just there's no spark there.
No, at the end of the tea season,
At
tea
all.
thing, there is like a continuum that ships them because they had a really sweet moment drinking tea together.
But I didn't think there was a spark between Worf and Troy either.
Fair point. Fair point.
That was fun to try, but
Medallion says, we were on a break.
Oh my God.
pivot.
That's so funny. I was like, who's going to say pivot now? Who's
I
gonna
like
say
Stephanie's
pivot?
response of ew.
To what? Oh yeah, to you, Muhammad.
Yeah.
That we didn't like that picture you painted. I would have rather Worf get it on with that old lady that turned into a monster that threw him to
The Care Bear
ground.
lady. The Dauphin.
Yeah, the Care Bear. Yeah, where she just turns into some monster and like
Yes, they
Worf
had
gets
some chemistry
tossed to the
too.
side like he does every time on the bridge.
That was some game respect game.
Mm.
I love that episode.
So, Anne-Marie, can we finish the thought on Riker and Troy being in an open
End it right now.
relationship?
It's not open.
You said that they used to be in one, but now they're not. What's
Everybody
State your
agrees.
case.
They were in an open relationship like all of TNG until then, until the movies.
It kind of felt like that watching, because
Yeah,
they
but
were
they
on
were-
again, on and off again, but they would still come back together and go play with other people and come back
But they
together.
maybe like weren't even hooking up during TNG, but there still was something there. They were still in Zadi's, and then like they're happy when other people are seeing each other, but their like friendship and professions needed to grow before they could ultimately get back together. Like in the
When was
in
it
the
that they-
TNG
when was it that they mentioned going to Risa and bringing the Horgon?
in Lower Decks? So somebody like mentioned that at
Right.
I saw on Twitter. And
So
I was like, how dare you?
do
Like,
we have any evidence that Riker and Troy
are you
dated
wondering if the
on
size
Next
of Forgons
Generation?
is proportional to openness in
Well,
relationship?
I mean, were they actually dating in Next Generation, or just? I mean, I
there
guess
was
they were
there were
towards the end.
times there were
Yeah.
times because Troy he started something with Troy and then he turned to Ro and started something with her
when-
in the very
yeah, he lost
same
his memory.
episode.
Oh, isn't that Ryan's favorite point?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he was playing with more than one person on that.
Totally
episode.
agree. And a lot of time when they like
But-
kind of
but
draw
that-
near, it's an alien induced like.
I think you guys are
Sure.
having selective amnesia here. Mohammed, correct me if I'm wrong, but what happened when they all lost their memory in Conundrum cannot be blamed on an open relationship. It's blamed on not knowing where they are or who they are, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. I was trying to think of a case where they actually were like truly clearly seeing each other in Next Generation. I can't remember one. Like clearly they had a past relationship. They refer back to that, and they were clearly very close, but I don't remember them actually crossing that
Yeah,
line.
I never know if they actually crossed the line in TNG, but
I feel
they
like
have
there
so
was
many
another
intimate
episode
moments.
though
Maybe.
that they did, but then
Definitely
the
in-
very
Like,
next
I'm kind
episode-
of menage a trois. They like go to the park to have like a sort of date on Beta
Yeah.
Menage a
and
Troy.
then
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Menage a trois, sorry.
Yeah.
And then like Mr. Home and Loxana come like with these like very suggestive vegetable shapes, which apparently in the actual take of the episode, they were actually like really phallic vegetables, and they had to like reshoot the scene because
Oh,
it was so suggestive when
it was all like eggplants and stuff.
Yes. So they had to refilm the scene, but I think that was one of the more
Whoa.
close, like the
We got to see that
closer
old
moments.
footage.
Yeah, we need to do a
that's good.
TNG
That's good
rewatch.
knowledge. That's good
Yeah.
knowledge. I was just thinking like Insurrection, where it was very clear, but I don't remember anything that obvious.
Mhm. Okay, let's take it to the live chat because I'm racking my brain too, because I feel like they always had something going on in Next Generation, but I can't actually place my finger on an actual instance. Linda
Well, a lot
Anderegg
of
said
times
they
it'll
had
be
some
like-
platonic kisses on the lips too. Woo!
Yeah, like there's all the
Elsa's-
ones like the child, and also
Yeah.
there are a bunch like the outcast, even where like there was somebody else, and then the episode sort of wraps up, or the episode like gets into gear by them talking about their own relationship, or like Masterpiece Society, where I think it always leaves them like realizing what they have is a little bit deeper than like what they're, and then it just takes years. I love those two together so much.
But I will say this.
I don't have an attached moment, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that tells me anything to really lock this in, but I will say that both Riker and Troy seem like the kind of people, not to judge, that would have open relationships. Number one, because Riker, I don't think he can function without having an open relationship. I feel like this guy is just like, he's like, can I date a mailbox? Fuck it. Where and Troy is just so chill and so enlightened, that she just might be like, yes, of course, Imzadi, whatever makes you happy, but really what makes me happy,
Oh my god.
Well, don't you think it's better for their careers, or especially her career too? Like they're still together, but if they had gotten together like in season 1, it would have been like some stressful sort of like work environment relationship where it's better they stay apart, and then like they're there for each other. Like I don't know if they ever hook up out of between episodes, but I think it's just good for the growth of their relationship, and it makes them stronger in later when they actually get together. Like it
That's a
would have
great point.
diminished, especially her career. She had been dating him, kind of like
Do
in
not
Lessons with
look-
Nala.
Do not look at DeQ's comment. DeQ, very naughty. So all three of you look
Oh
down.
god.
Tech with Todd says, Up the Long Ladder was the episode with the tea
Yes.
ceremony.
Oh, really?
I've forgotten that.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
'cause we just watched that together recently, Anne-Marie. I didn't remember seeing
I
that,
didn't
but
know that was the end of it. I thought it was the end of the one where like. Oh, maybe you're right. I just can't think of. I thought it was in honor of somebody who dies, so I thought it was like the Jeremy Astor episode, but I'm probably
Oh.
wrong. I love Up the Long Ladder is also the one where Riker he hooks up so much in those first few seasons, like washing women's feet, trying their chicken a la Utah. It gets out of control.
Oh god, that Yucca woman, man, she was the worst.
got her
That
around.
episode is so scary. I love TNG so much. Yeah, I need to
Me
do
too.
I might go watch TNG after this.
Tech with Todd also says Parallels was the episode where Troy and Worf had dinner at the end and starts a relationship. Yeah, that was like the second to last episode in the whole series. And it was when Worf actually asks Riker, and that's when like Troy's, coming up behind him and undoing his hair. He's just like, counselor. It's like,
Oh my God,
okay,
oh my God.
Lieutenant. That's such a
But
good
also,
episode.
That relationship is still infinitely better than Seven and Chakotay, like last minute, which is insane a lot.
Yeah.
Are you giving
Yeah.
anti-C7 hate, Anne-Marie
Shoot, am I
Siegel?
gonna get blocked? Yeah.
Well, we know
no,
Muhammad and
well.
Melissa are the biggest C7 shippers that we know.
No.
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 Well,
That came out
I
of
respect
left
everybody's
field.
shipping. Well, especially when it's such a
relationship
creepy
was-
dare where it's
it was-
like, oh, I bet you can't write me to start like kissing your girlfriend, like between Robert Beltran and Brendan Braga. It's like, I don't really respect that as a way to like bring in a
What?
Wait, what?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
wait, where?
don't you know this is
where
why
are
that
we now?
happened? Because like Robert Beltran was talking to Brendan Braga and he was like, "Oh, I bet you won't like write me in to Voyager that I kiss your girlfriend," because Brendan was like dating Jerry Ryan at the time, and Brendan Braga was like, "Oh yeah, watch me," and then like that's why it's in like last minute, just all like slapdash and a mess. Super
Yeah.
weird.
It didn't work because it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I'm
keep
like,
your
what
dare-
is going
keep your
on?
dares off of our screen.
No. Yeah. It doesn't work in the story.
Okay, so I think we've
Oh,
almost come to the conclusion of this, but we still don't really have an answer. People are giving us a lot of information in the live chat.
I do like the Rafi 7 pairing. I agree with DJ Kitty Cat.
I like that pairing too. I wish they would do more with it.
Yeah.
so beautiful.
That's the Fenris Rangers.
Yeah.
Like when
They're
Raffi
so-
like is watching Seven like without her tech like nano stuff, like her implants, and she's just like so happy to see Seven happy. I'm like, this is a really beautiful relationship. Get back together
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
David
like
Gregory
them.
says, no JC, all C7.
Okay.
I think I got those
Remember
inverted.
when I was
just
at
to
the
get
Gold
'em.
Coast
I think you
parking
got
lot
backwards.
and I looked up in the C7 like the way that garages are like organized, and it was like section C number 7. And then somebody had totally gone with a spray paint can and said J/C. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this where all the JCers are staying at STLV? Or is this
That's
completely
brilliant.
randomly incidental? And it's just such hilarious graffiti.
That is
I took
that
a
is
picture of it
perfect.
somewhere.
That is very Star Trek.
So funny.
Okay, so inconclusive, I guess. Muhammad,
Sure.
in conclusion,
Mhm.
what do you say? Riker and Troy, do we have enough evidence to say yes or no either way on whether they were together, whether they had an open relationship, anything more than just a lot of flirtation and a lot
Is
of
this a backdoor pilot for Dr. Laura starring Muhammad?
I think it's very clear that they had an emotional connection. I mean, I think that's unambiguous. I think everybody would agree that like there was a strong emotional connection. They were more than just buds. Now,
Mhm.
like where, I mean, there's a continuum, right? Like, there's that to like, I guess married or what, I guess married isn't even necessarily the end of the continuum, but
Yeah,
where do you
it's
draw
not.
that line, right? I mean, more than friends, yes. Were they lovers? I mean, does it have to be physical? I don't think there's any evidence that there was something physical there, except aside from the mind control
They're
things.
in bodies.
But I mean, it doesn't mean it wasn't real.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I think there is.
Yeah, I don't know that there is enough evidence, but I definitely got that impression that it was happening sometimes.
Maybe so.
I I mean, they didn't shy away from giving that impression.
Is there a term for this?
But they didn't, blatantly say, "Oh yeah, neuron," except for the memory loss
Mind
one.
control one.
So they were kind of like FWBs then.
Well, we should talk to this more about at some point. Peter from Chuck's Bird's Briefing Room, because apparently, like,
Peter
Riker and
Holstrom.
Troy were taken as a phase 2 couple, and then that part of the storyline for phase 2 was like as were a lot of storylines for phase 2 was then like directly plopped into TNG for that. So it'd be interesting to talk to them, to like Peter and Lisa Klink, because they are like phase 2 total phase 2 students right now, and see what they have to say about like the parallels between what was written in phase 2, because I think it was way more of a like swinging Gene Roddenberry open relationship that they were like going off of like very 70s. So I just don't know, but that would be like a good clue to what the thought was setting them up.
Another thing is we could ask Mike McMahon and just say, what were you implying there when you wrote that? Were you, I mean, why don't we think of that too? What were you implying? Were you implying that they're swingers, or were you implying that they're just gonna go ravage each other all weekend, like they deserve?
Yeah, or maybe they don't play by the same kind of rules as 20th century human Americans do.
yeah, fair point.
Because I would venture to guess that since considering its lower decks, considering it's Mike McMahon, makes me lean more towards the side of open relationship. Like as in like putting myself in their mindset, it seems like they'd be more about just like, or at least leaving it, ambiguous to that, where they're like, hey, you make of it whatever you will. We're just saying that there's going to be debauchery had.
Thinking in the Star Trek series, like, are there cases of open relationships? The closest I can think of is like the denobulance, which isn't exactly open. It's 3 husbands, 3 wives. Yeah, it's polygamous. Yeah,
right.
or polyandrous, because it's both, right? It's polygamy and each woman has 3 men and each man has 3 women.
Yes.
So
I think, don't the Andorians do something like that? I know they have 4 sexes.
People always say that. I always have a hard time finding like a solidly like what that means.
Yeah.
Well, I always found the concept of marriage in Star Trek kind of interesting, because how do we know all of these other alien cultures would have even a name for marriage, or even the same kind of rituals as marriage?
Totally.
And that always put questions in my head.
Yeah.
Like, what would they still be carrying on these traditions, or
not at all? Yeah.
Good question.
This thing came from, didn't religion create marriage, or maybe it was more a thing of convenience? It was more like a business decision, but like, different races from different planets have completely different cultures and reasons for doing what they do.
And monogamy is very, very uncommon on Earth. I mean, if you go outside of humans, I'm not even sure it's that common in humans. But
what are you trying to say, Muhammad? If you're willing to go outside humans, then you can do whatever you want.
But like they used to think all these birds were monogamous, and then people start exploring it more. Like, nope, not even close. They just seem like there's like social monogamy, but then there's like gametic not. So you'd have pairs that would like hang out together, but then like one would go off and do all these other things, and then come back and they hang out with the same one. So there's this social structure, but it has nothing to do with who's inseminating who, or being inseminated by who.
Gametic not.
Yeah. So in terms of the gametes, it's not necessarily in the social bond.
I like that term. That's fun. New to me. So right now our live chat might be either enthralled by this discussion or completely bored, and I don't know which. Everybody in the live chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interesting is this conversation? 1 being, we have helped you go to sleep tonight already. You're already tucked away. You're barely listening. You're like, just keep talking about boring stuff. It's working. And 10 being like, you're like leaning into the screen, hanging on every word, and giggle by Melissa.
It's a 10.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
It's a 10, right, everyone? A 10.
While they're locking in their votes right
Medallion
now.
gives a negative 100.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
Maybe that's just like Vegas, odds. It's a negative 100 because it's really like a plus 100. David Gregory says a hot 10. DJ Kitty Cat says 5. Kimber Spores says the nice number. Chuck A says 11. Fantastic conversation. Tech with Todd says 10. Linda Anderegg says 7.
7. Nice.
So while everybody's locking in their votes, we do want to give our condolences to our good friend Stephanie K.
Yeah.
She recently lost her podcat, who is one of the cutest cats
so sad.
ever. Very sweet cat, and we all loved seeing it. So our condolences go out to
We love
Stephanie. Everybody in the live chat, that is Stephanie is NX702. That's her podcast. So
7062.
comment to her. NX7062.
Oh my gosh, stop embarrassing the Enterprise fans.
NX7062. So say hi to her and spread your condolences all over her. Terry Rose says 10 and you're cursing. And Stephanie says 12. Thank you, Stephanie. David Gregory says, I need a 10-degree C shower for this 10 conversation. Very nice. Jason says,
I'd read a book about Star Trek Alien.
This chat pack has a knob that goes up to 11. Sorry, what were you saying, Anne-Marie?
Oh, DQs. I'd read a book about Star Trek Alien coupling if Dr. Norn wrote it one. I'm like, yes, I have been thinking about that. Like when McCoy or does like the alien physiology book, or else also when they're talking about that weird, like they put together a binder for Starfleet cadets about like alien coupling that Harry Kim mentions in Voyager. I'm like, yeah, how would you write that?
Oh my god.
So written with Garrett.
It would be fun, I have to say.
You should make it in a binder, like a 3-ring binder with like interchange. So like you could put the Andorian page here and the Denobulan and then put them together.
See what happens.
Oh my gosh.
And then a third page appears.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
This conversation's getting way too spicy.
Would you ever write something like that, Mohammed? That's a great.
Consider it. I mean, I have a section in my current book on that, but it's something that could easily be expanded. I'd consider it. I mean, not in the next couple of months, but sometime.
Well, because like Ira used to write like with Armin the rules of acquisition, or writes those like autobiography books. I'm like, this is a book that needs to be written.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an MD who could help me.
Ooh, collaboration.
Yes.
Ooh, maybe even one on screen.
Ooh.
Our first chapter is humans and Beta Z.
I thought you were just gonna say first chapter is humans. We're like boring.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
This one already.
That's so funny. Oh, that's hilarious.
This one already.
That's so funny.
We know this one already.
I don't know if Harry
She
Kim.
just
I don't
like-
know if Harry Kim knew that one.
Yeah. Okay. The Q says 33.33 repeating. John Brewer says 5. Wayne says 9.6. Galinda says 10. Hello, Galinda. What were you saying, Melissa?
I said Kimber says Ryan just poured some sriracha on the discussion. Cha cha cha.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sriracha Lofton. We did have a conversation on the 7th rule just recently about which aliens. I think Sirach was asking which aliens could mate with which and all that. Muhammad, we could have used you. And
I have all sorts of information. I have a whole table on it in my book.
Yes,
Wow.
I love that table.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
interesting. Well,
It's
because
interesting,
also like
honestly.
outdated biology
I do too.
discussions are like, one definition of species is that they can't mate with each other. So I really love Muhammad's part of the book where it's kind of like that's sort of outdated.
Yeah. The problem is people consider speciation a process rather than a point. It's not like boom, now you can't mate. Now you're different species. But there's a continuum in between. I mean, the great examples, of course, like humans and Neanderthal, right?
Yeah,
Or
Ryan loves that
dogs and
example.
wolves. I mean, there are cases where you
Mhm.
can have some interbreeding between species. It's just when it's limited, then that's when it starts being considered different species. But it's tough because there's not an obvious line where like you've passed this point now. This one DNA letter went from an A to a G, and now you're a different species. Boom. It's this sort of
'Cause
continuum, right? Where
it's not like a humanoid trying to mate with a
The seagull.
changeling.
yeah.
A seagull. BioTrekkie explains. How
Yeah.
would a human mate with a
I love
seagull?
it. And 81
No, I didn't want to think about that.
Oh,
Okay. But the live chat was demanding that answer. So
I don't think so.
I don't accept. All right. Well, so what's next on the agenda here, everybody? There was another thing that was pretty interesting here.
yeah, comic book. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Star Trek Ferengi. No, it's okay to say that because that's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Star Trek Ferengi. Our good buddies at trekmovie.com, the source for everything new and wow, everything. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Art is really
Quark looks
good.
so hot there.
See Quark head off for adventure in preview of Star Trek Ferengi comic books. Huh. IDW, who's like the champion of Star Trek comics, right? This week, IDW continues its new series of extra long one-off issues focusing on the memorable aliens of the Star Trek franchise. Hey, that's cool. Following February's Klingon issue, this month's focus is the Ferengi with the return of Star Trek Deep Space Nine's Quark. The new series is written by Christina Rice with art by Andy Price and with marketing by Susanna Fleiss. And
I'm the guy from Discovery, Bryce.
yeah, right.
Right.
Oh
Right.
my God,
and,
is that who
and
Bryce
delivered
is?
to you by Ronald Bryce.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't have to think twice about
Oh,
Totally
reading
Bryce
this.
or Reeves.
And it's
Okay.
sold at a low price.
Right,
Ah,
right.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's so
Kimber
Ferengi.
Spores
So
mentioned the
Bryce.
spice. And we have a 5-page preview for the issue that arrives tomorrow. Oh, here's the 5-page
Let's look at
preview.
the
Cool.
I freaking love Moogie on the cover of this.
Yeah.
Look at this 70s right here.
Yeah.
I love that.
70s.
The future is female.
Yes.
Oh, Quark looks so depressed about this. Moogie.
Not my station.
Not on my station.
Oh, not on my station. Wow, we got Morn's back. Whoa, does Morn say something? Wait, who's talking? No, that's probably Quark.
That's
talking.
Quark.
That would be
There's
hilarious
something
if
else color.
Morn says something.
Who is that? Is that somebody we know? That Starfleet officer? Or is that just
It looks
random?
like Bashir.
That's Bashir, probably.
Is it Bashir? Okay.
It's either him or
Is
Guy
that-
Spalter.
Is that something colored? Yeah. I saw
Good
them
call.
card
That
last week.
carafe looks
Card
interesting.
senior.
Wow. This
So it's
looks
interesting.
great.
It's interesting this is set before the end of Deep Space Nine, too. Because I mean, in one of the lower
Oh,
pictures you haven't gotten to yet, we see Jadzia.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's Lita.
Yay, Lita.
Garrick.
Yeah.
We love when Lita wears that top.
See, there's Jadzia
Jadzia,
there.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who and Cisco's ball. Wow.
Ooh, somebody's getting it on
Oh
with
my
an
God, there's the
Andorian.
Gorn.
Worf looks
And a
great.
Gorn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that TJ?
Double.
Oh,
Damn
Gorn.
for TJ. There he is.
Yay.
TJ, the party Gorn.
Yay.
Oh, look at the Andorian lady there.
Yeah.
Is that Jennifer?
It could be. Jennifer. I love those.
That looks amazing. I might have to buy it.
So that's just a one-off, but they said it was extra long. So that's really interesting.
That is cool.
Hmm.
I like them branching into the comics more. It's just kind of fun. It's like it's an easy way of seeing it and getting some more creative stories. I like it, and very visual still. It's supposed to. I
Yeah.
mean, Yeah. I'm not as fond of just the straight book. I mean, I like the straight books too, okay, but I really like this visual from the comics.
Hmm.
I'd like to predict that Scott Jensen reads the Star Trek comics. And if I had to guess somebody else, I would say David Gregory does as well. Scott and David, let us know. Am I right? And who here does read the comics IDW? Let us know. I've never read a Star Trek comic.
Kimber says comics are amazing. So I'm guessing maybe she does.
I got the Picard prequel ones, like before Star Trek Picard came out. Remember they had a couple of comics for that.
Yeah.
I got those. They were good. Introduced Laris and people like that in there. So it was kind of nice having a little bit of an intro, and Rafi was in there too. I mean, back when she was still in Starfleet. Yeah.
Paris plus Siobhan.
So I got them on my on the Kindle app. I didn't actually like get a hard comic.
How was it?
It was there. It was cool.
it was whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it was good story, good art, you
know. Okay. And I know Don Crandall. Don Crandall, you need to come to more of these live chats, man.
Yeah.
Because Don Crandall
awesome.
Definitely has read some Star Trek comics and probably some Star Wars comics. I mean, he goes all up in there.
He knows everything. He's amazing.
Scott Jensen says, I can send a list, Ryan. See, got you pegged. Lots of Nog books. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
And David Gregory, we'll see what his answer is.
Wayne says, I've read the Discovery ones.
He says, David Gregory says, I do not, but I will read the novels. And who said what, Mohammed?
Wayne said he's read the Discovery ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right.
Those are fun.
Melissa, are you going to read this comic book?
Maybe. I like Ferengi.
We get a hard copy or we get an electronic copy?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe electronic. I'm trying to get rid of stuff. So
yeah, that's what I like about it. It's just, it's just there on your iPad and it's just kind of there in the background.
But the point of having the comic book is actually having the comic book and smelling that printer ink or whatever it is. That's so nostalgic.
Just smell your iPad.
This is true. I'd have a lot of comics downstairs that I need to. Yeah. There's Star Trek comics
too.
Yeah.
Oh, Star Trek comics, eh? But have you read any of them?
No, not yet. I should do that. I should read one before bed every night. This is a
and then report
about it.
Report back here.
Okay. New mission. Should I choose to accept it?
And then you could like hold it up and be like, so today I read so and so, and be like, and page 1, and like go through the whole thing, and then we can just kind of hang out and watch, make some s'mores.
Yeah. Yes.
Anne Marie, you strike me as the kind of person that's never read one comic book in your life, unless they made a Sex and the City comic book, graphic novel.
I did buy one because I randomly met this guy who was doing the X-Men Noir comic books, and so randomly when I met him, I went back and like before I went out with him again, I went back and like read. I bought his most recent comic book, and the crazy thing is X-Men has a character named Anne Marie. And then the other crazy thing was Anne Marie in the comic book looked a lot like me and was wearing like my identical outfit from when I met him.
Oh my God.
This is so bizarre. Like same hair and everything was so
Did you flip to the end to see what happens in the future?
Well, then I think I had to buy more comic books and it didn't last that long. But
just consider those next comic books like a second and third date. So like the second book is a second date, the third book, and you have to get the whole series to get to the wedding.
It's okay. I just got one, but that, and then I love Tintin.
Have you read any, Ryan?
Yeah, when I was like,
you read Asterix?
8 or no? Oh yeah, I definitely read some Asterix et Obélix. That's good French stuff. Yeah, I had some old. I still probably do. Like I had a Man Thing. Like I think I had the first episode of Man Thing. I may
Oh,
have had
wow.
a
Oh, that's the
Superman.
name of it.
Yeah,
About men.
some Man Thing. I don't know. It was I get these Man Thing books. And then, like a Silver Surfer or two. I think maybe a Ghost Rider.
Yeah. I
Just
used
a
to have Green
few.
Lantern. That was my set. I used to have a bunch of Green Lantern ones. They were fun.
You seem like a Green Lantern kind of guy.
Oh yeah, best superhero.
Why?
I mean, he's got a ring that's all powerful, right? And brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. And he goes,
So does Frodo.
Not the same.
Aw.
Not a ring that makes you turn invisible and go crazy. Like, no.
Or maybe just think that you're invisible. They can't see me. You can't see me. They can only not see me if I take off my clothes. And then you're
What was that movie? The movie from like 1999 with the guy who could turn invisible, but only if nobody was looking at him.
To turn into what?
He could turn invisible, but only if nobody was looking at him.
Oh, I
Oh,
don't know this.
It was like a bunch of like not great superheroes. Somebody in the chat I'm sure knows. They had like there was one guy called the Shoveler, and it was like William
Oh,
H. Macy.
yes.
oh.
Yes, it was Mystery Men.
Is that what it was
Hilarious,
called?
right?
Yeah.
Mystery Men. And Doug Jones apparently was in that.
Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that.
don't. He was like he was with somebody else, and there was like the tall, thin guy and the shorter, fat guy, I think, and they were like the Pencil Men or something. I don't know, but
I remember William H.
that-
Macy was the
A lot
Shoveler.
of lead in that.
yeah,
pencil.
and they're like,
The
what do you do? I
shoveler.
shovel things. I'm really good at shoveling stuff. That was so
That's a
funny
show.
when they were interviewing people that wanted to join their crew, and they just all had those dumb things. That's where I believe Doug's
It was
part
Janine
was.
Garofalo had that ball which had like her dad's head or something in it, right? You remember this?
No.
She was
yeah.
like the one who
Nobody
actually had
said
like
that to
power.
her.
Yes.
And I believe, yeah, this was the show. That was the movie where the guy, you can't look at him and he goes invisible. And I think he also had to take off his clothes, right?
Yeah.
Which
And
was
it,
the
it
funny
worked in
joke
the end
there.
because there was something where there was a camera and they had to get through it. So like everybody had to look away. They took off his clothes and went past the camera, didn't detect him.
Maybe he blushed if somebody was watching.
Maybe. One Trek fan says Doug Jones had a 10-second cameo.
I love his short cameos and stuff.
Okay, here it is, everybody.
Sounds like a fun cast.
It was the Pencil Men.
Oh my,
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Shut up.
Oh no,
He's
it was a
so
kid.
cute.
Look at all those kids' pencils.
Look at, he's wearing his underwear outside.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. Dougie.
Yeah, brilliant.
Great.
So cute.
The brilliance of Doug Jones knows no bounds. It's like he's in every movie.
I totally thought that looks like Pete and Pete, like the Adventures of Pete and Pete from Nickelodeon. They always have like crazy superheroes.
Or what? Oh, this one. People in the live chat, we are going to have. Oh, and Ben Stiller was in it,
Oh yeah. I forgot.
and Hank Azaria. Hank
And
Azaria
Pee Wee
is great.
Herman.
Yeah, Paul Rubens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, this looks amazing.
Wow, really
Oh,
good.
and that guy went from Blade Runner. Wait, no, and that's not Blade Runner. It wasn't Blade Runner. I forgot his name too.
It's the Shoveler with the shovel.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is gonna show who's got real nerd cred. What are those guys? Oh, the Venture Brothers. Man,
Mhm.
Yeah, duh.
people
Everyone
love
watches it.
the Venture Brothers. That is a show that for some reason people go nuts for, and that has a lot of
Including
like.
Ira,
Right, you're right. Yeah, actually, Ira.
his favorite
We
show.
love Venture Brothers too, everybody.
Okay, well, I will say that I have been trying to get into Venture Brothers, and then I watched your, like your housemate Darth loves it, and
Yes.
and I usually love Adult Swim, so I watched your WTF, and he recommended watching like episode 11, I believe it was, and that like is a good hook, and I was like, yeah, he's right, this isn't bad. I've been watching,
Oh, you watched it?
but it's not. Yeah, I've been watching it, but I mean, it's no Space Ghost Coast to Coast or Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, with the other
Ugh.
good attorney.
So everybody at home, this was Watch the First, Falling Towers, Watch the First, episode number 29. Darth was the guest, and we did review Venture Brothers. So go check that out to see how much we enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it.
The best part is that Darth has like 70 Venture Brothers t-shirts or something. It's just like, I've watched this, WTF so many times because it's just like mind blowing how big of a Venture Brothers fan Darth is. It's pretty amazing.
So you liked it, huh?
I loved it. I loved the
Do you like it?
WTF and I like the show. Okay.
Do you like it better than Rick and Morty?
I'm not like a humongous Rick and Morty fan. I think they're probably equal footing for me.
Muhammad
I'm
loves
more
Rick
like
and
Bob's
Morty.
Burgers, though.
I have no opinion on it.
In
Bob's
the Bob's Burgers
Burgers.
universe, Archer, Dr. Katz, professional therapist, home movies. I love that whole like decades of cartoons.
All right. So everybody in the live chat, this is your moment to shine. Are you Bob's Burgers team, Rick and Morty team, Venture Brothers team, Solar Opposites, BoJack Horseman? What's the one that you put above all the others? Melissa's like, what are any of these?
BoJack. I can't keep up with BoJack.
What we do in the
he's too crazy.
shadows.
That's not a cartoon.
Okay.
And well, you get the
But
Ferengi
it's
comic book.
fun. Yeah, I haven't watched any of those. I don't think.
Oh, one of my little brothers, Daniel, who's like his birthday's today. He when Cartoon Network
happy
came
birthday,
out,
Daniel.
he was like, it was like in Cartoon Network like came out when he like was 3 or something, and then we never saw him again. He was just like in front of the TV for 24/7 for the rest of his life, growing up, and which worked out. Like obviously they did something right because he's way smarter than me. But we would watch so much Cartoon Network and Adult Swim together because that was the way to hang out with him. So I got
What
super
about
into it.
Snorks?
Snorks. Oh my God. Haven't thought about that show in a long time.
Okay, so
Popping my head.
Wayne says Bob's Burgers. DJ Kitty Cat says Lower Decks. Terry Rose says, I've never seen any of these. Wow. Oh, Lower Decks. DJ Kitty Cat says a second time or corrects the spelling. Tech with Todd says SpongeBob. Steph's talking
Face
about
from
Rick and
Melissa.
Morty. SpongeBob Square Butt. So,
Yeah.
Mohammed, by the way, tomorrow's a holiday. What are you doing to celebrate?
Holiday tomorrow?
Yeah, 420, right?
What's 420? I'm missing something. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a reefer holiday.
Oh, got it. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Holiday.
Oh my
I
God,
use the
was
term
like,
holiday
wait, what am I
extremely
forgetting?
loosely.
Do I need to get presents?
Kinda.
You stumped me for a second too. I was like, huh? What holiday?
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody. So I thought of that when Anne Marie said her brother's birthday was 4/19. You just missed
Just
it.
missed it.
Just missed it.
Medallion says, light him up.
Yep, light them up. Okay, so I think we're just about at the time where we talk about what?
The only other thing we were going to mention briefly, because I'm actually not in New York right now, obviously, but how
Oh yeah,
amazing
yeah. Tell
the
us.
advertising for Strange New World that's being unveiled in New York right now is. Like they're going almost as hard as they did for Picard season 1, and it's like taking over subway stations, and they're like plastering all the poles with different characters. So everything's like very much ramping up. So that'll be super fun.
Remember, I don't think last week we talked about, but you guys have seen that Star Trek TNG animated version thing that's
Did
been
we
out
talk about
there.
that on Star Trek and Chill or something?
Is that? Oh,
So-
you guys talk about Star Trek? Maybe so. I
So
didn't see it.
good.
Yeah, that was really
So
good.
good.
I keep
A
like
plus.
picking up
I
new
love the
things every
music
time I
to
watch
it.
it.
The
Okay,
music's
so what I
hilarious.
just picked up on like my 10th watch is that like I didn't catch how they were doing that. You know, like in TAS when they like stay on Kirk's face weirdly and it takes up like 3/4 of the screen, which makes no
Yes.
sense. They even did that for Picard, which was so. I mean, I was just laughing already about like the pink board cube, but
Totally.
oh my gosh, the way they were doing those weird camera angles, with, like 3/4 screen face
And
close.
the eye that just moves over and then comes back.
The thing that got me the most was how the whites of their eyes were always the same color as their
Her
skin.
face, yeah.
And it just always bothered me. I'm like, was it
Gross.
really that much of a problem to just paint white right there? Like, what's the problem? And it just made it look so weird.
Super weird.
Melissa's like, stop talking about eyeball color, Ryan. It's boring as hell.
It's weird. No, it's super weird. No, I missed part of it because I was reading. So
oh yeah,
I
also
was just catching up.
has everybody seen the Orville poster? Check it out.
I wonder
Oh
if,
my
like,
gosh.
everyone's
How
on fire
neon
with
that is.
That's so pretty.
That's really cool.
Yeah, look at that.
Dude, we're so spoiled this summer.
Pretty awesome. Pretty
Yeah.
That
damn
and For All
awesome.
Mankind are coming out like in the same week or something. Plus Strange New Worlds will be out then. It's
Wow.
Look at this.
gonna be
New
a crazy
home,
summer.
new missions, Hulu, the Orville, New Horizons. But when? June 2nd,
Ah,
which
day before your
is
birthday.
true. It is a Thursday.
I know.
Oh.
Why are they?
I know this.
You guys, can we
Oh.
spread this out for us, please? Can you put it
Right.
on
I
a
haven't
Monday?
don't think I haven't mentioned this to Hulu higher ups. I'm like, don't put it on Thursday. I want to watch everything.
Yeah.
So tell us
Yeah.
about the Hulu higher ups, Anne Marie.
That's it.
That's it. I was waiting too.
Don't make me blush.
Spill the beans, Anne Marie. Spill
That's all I can say.
the beans. Okay.
Well, apparently they release their things independently of Star Trek because they just go by like that way it's up for the weekend and the weekends when they get their other views. I'm like, don't you know it's a Star Trek fandom and all the things are coming out Thursday and it's so hard. We want to watch all of them like the day of and get like all like if it came out another day, like Twitter would be devoted to that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to
Becomes
mute
such a
all sorts of things
crazy-
then.
It's gonna become such
Yeah.
a crazy competition. And then also For All Mankind coming out, I think that week even or the next week. It's gonna be a crazy,
what
crazy
about the
summer.
poor fans? Make it on a Monday or Tuesday.
That's
Let's
what I
spread
said.
it out
I
for
said
us.
put it on a Monday or Tuesday so that we can talk about it on the main viewer. Like,
Yes.
but alas,
Why didn't
I think
why
they're
didn't they
married
listen to you?
They're married to Thursdays, and maybe
Those
married to other
Fox
people.
or Hulu, sorry. Hulu.
Darth wanted to be married to Wednesday. Because he
Adams?
liked
Can't
that.
blame him.
Yeah, he liked that movie.
Mm.
I love that movie.
I thought
Well, that's a
Darth
bummer.
would get married on May the 4th.
No, but May the 4th is a Wednesday, and Falling Tower will be releasing and premiering, I should say, a new episode of Watch the First on May the 4th. And of course, you know it's going to be a Star Wars related show. We can't tell you what just yet, but we can go over the week real quick in just a second after we do this. Wait, no, before we do that, we still have one more thing to mention. And that is Anne Marie, what's this?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm a little confused about what the actual company's called. It's called Exo6, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, because that's their Twitter handle, and sometimes they say that, but then when you go on Twitter, their actual name is like so long, so I'm not totally sure. Anyway, they had a booth at Star Trek Chicago Missions, and they have like, I mean, their figures are so amazingly lifelike. That said, they are like $180 to $215, and I think can get even pricier, besides, like depending on what backdrop you get. But they just announced like these Benjamin Sisko ones out. And
These are action
actually,
figures?
So I guess they're action figures, but also sort of just like life-size I want to say models and not dolls.
Life
But-
size?
Not life size.
Like,
Like 1/9 or whatever, 1/8. I don't know. They're actually
Scale.
like pretty. Maybe
oh,
they're 9
okay.
yeah. But what's really cool is they actually all come with like 10 different hands. It feels very Omicron Theta when you look at it. Like they all come with like, which is the birthplace where Data was created, and they have that like room with all these extra interchangeable limbs. But they come with like between 5 and 10 hands, doing like different poses, and then they do come with different accessories. And I think the difference between those two is that like how many accessories they come with. They both come with baseballs, which is so adorable. And one of the hands is like able to hold the baseball.
Wow.
And then one of them like comes with a vest and a pad, which I was trying to like computer enhance to see what the pad said that they chose. But yeah, those look really cool, and it's about time they did a Cisco one. The one for Picard, he also has a Locutus one that you can get, and it comes in like this huge alcove, which is crazy.
Oh.
And it lights up. It's super fun. But yeah, all of them are so great. Like the 7 of 9 one, like the sculpting, they look completely real life.
Very cool. If
Yeah,
only it
and
was life size too. Can you imagine having like a life size Ben Cisco in your room?
DeQ says they're
I know.
1/6 scale, so that's big. That's a foot tall.
Yes, 1/6. Yeah, I was like
Wow.
looking for it because I know that Playmates are usually like 1/8 size, I think, because Dr. Crusher or Bates McFadden used to do her 1/8 Beverly adventures where she took her Playmate action figure out around with her and took pictures. Every time she'd see the word Picard out, she'd have like a picture of 1/8 Beverly like turning her head to like look. But that was a few years ago now. But yeah. So 1/6 makes sense or whatever.
Hello, Donnie Pearson. Thanks for joining in the live chat. So I think that's the big news of the week. Our good buddy Michael Kenyon Rosenberg sent me a couple weird things. I don't even know what they are. I don't know if we have time to do it. Mohammed,
part of the job.
you're the scientist out of us. Why did Michael send me this?
Oh God.
There was he didn't say anything. I don't even know what the explanation, what this is. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, aside from the sort of obvious, like I'm
Is this
guessing it's,
lower decks?
yeah. So I don't understand why is it accelerating off the head though? Because like
I don't know.
because it's going, it looks like it's going from the person's butt to the person sitting there, but I don't understand like what that massive thing is coming off the head going up. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe the person's like breathing it in and then breathing it out, and so it's even
But
hotter.
up somehow.
Even hotter.
I'm
Does
not
it
sure what
have
that is.
anything to do with holoportation?
Oh my God. Okay, so this reminds me, did you see the NASA article where they actually
Yeah.
put a hologram of a doctor in a spaceship?
Yeah.
Yes, that was cool.
That's exactly what I was talking
Oh,
about.
No, but I
referring
wish
to.
Michael would send me those instead of
Yes,
that.
please send me that. It's so cool.
Instead of weird
Yeah.
fart droplets.
Then I like wanted it so much
The
to look
droplets,
like
the
avocado.
particles.
I
Okay.
don't know what
Yeah.
that is. though.
And the doctor has a thing in the picture.
That's awesome.
Like the lappies.
So cute.
Yeah.
The doctor's a lappy presenter next to
All right. Now
Ouch,
it's
yeah.
time for the Star Trek Day trivia game. There was another thing Michael sent me, but I'm like, I just don't even. It was a baseball thing. It has like a baseball puzzle. And I don't know if there's a lot of baseball fans here that can figure it out, but I couldn't. And I thought I would be able to. Here it is, Star Trek Day Trivia Day. Question of the day. And it is,
Again.
which Star Trek wait, did we already do that one? Or did we preview it on Star Trek and Chill?
Definitely never preview them.
Huh?
You preview them.
I feel like we previewed it and never read the answer. No,
There's
maybe
no
not.
way we're doing that. I would like draw the line.
You did
at
it
that time.
only.
Yeah, that quite-
You only
could
did
have
it
been so
one
lame.
time.
Well, was it a few days ago? Because if so, then
It was during the Chicago one, I think.
okay. Well, that was just a few days ago, the Chicago one,
2
wasn't it?
weeks ago.
No, that'd be a
Or
week and a half.
week ago.
Okay. What is Sulu's primary position?
Oh, yeah, you did that one.
I don't remember doing this one.
Bottom.
Really? I could have sworn this.
Anne Marie.
What I was thinking
Kidding.
too.
I don't know.
Dr.
I
Anne
actually
Marie.
don't
I know
know.
that's why I paused there. It was called a
You
pregnant
just wanted me to say
pause.
that. Yeah.
What
Kidding,
is
I don't know.
Sulu's primary position aboard the USS Enterprise? Is it A, science officer, Anne Marie?
I
Is
think we
it
have
B?
done this.
You've done this one. I
Navigator?
remember seeing you do this one. I think it was on Star Trek and Chill.
Oh yeah,
but-
I guess it was because I think I never watched the last couple minutes of it. Privacy.
I don't remember reading this.
Not you didn't read it on Star Trek and Chill,
Was it on main viewer?
but it might have been.
don't
I
think
just
I've
feel
seen
like
this.
I've heard this one
Oh
before.
my god, are we
Is
in
it-
some weird time loop?
You
Is this
guys
a TNG
are.
episode?
I
Well,
know-
Lisa and I are in the same time loop. You guys
You
are
know
in
what it
different
is?
Oh
ones.
my gosh.
I'm
How
I'm
many-
the one
did you
that's
win-
not in it, and I'm like, what are you guys talking
Did you
about? And
win
you're
the
like, you
Boundless
did do
tournament?
it.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I remember being
I got
some,
ninth standing.
the reason I remember is 'cause I remember thinking whether science would count because he was a science person before. And I remember thinking like, what would it be? No, but
it
that's not
says,
the real one.
what is
Oh my
his
god, you got
primary
ninth
position?
standing, that's
Yeah, no,
impressive.
exactly.
Is it
Ninth out of
C,
nine.
chief engineer, or is it D, helmsman? All right. So
We'll do it again. It's fair.
I'm telling you, I don't know. How recently do you think it was?
Recent.
Oh, really? I
think
didn't feel like it was recent.
Really?
See, you
I'm in a different
guys,
part of the time loop.
I'm telling you, I did not read that one.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if you had read it, I would have instantly thought that joke in my head, and I would have remembered it. So
Okay,
Except we
everybody in
didn't
the
have it
live
with me.
chat, answer that question. Have we read this question before? Has this question been read? I'm going to cover up the answer.
Oh, we have mixed answers. Chuck A says this was not done, and David Gregory saying it was spoken before.
yeah,
Huh.
done.
Whoa.
Okay, now everybody say what place
Star
Ryan
Trek
came in
is
at the bat
happening.
list.
Okay, so
Does it sound familiar though?
our
David Gregory
new
says it was
episode-
recent too. David Gregory's in my cycle.
Oh, okay. But time has no meaning for me right
Okay.
now. I have no idea what day it is.
You know what this is? It's like the Prodigy episode.
It is. That's
Where
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
in different, yeah, right? Is that what you said, Muhammad?
Yeah.
Where we're like in
Exactly.
different movements and points and speeds and time.
Yeah. Medallion's with you. Medallion says, I don't recall this being asked before.
Getting way more-
Chuck says,
And
not that I
Medallion
remember.
is here every time.
Oh, somebody said they heard it on the ready room, which could be the case
Oh.
unless you behind on the ready room.
Oh,
on the
maybe
red.
that's what it is.
But I never watched that.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
Damn it. I
Yeah.
thought we had it.
No.
Okay.
I
So
love that someone said he's the feeder of Beauregard.
Beauregard, that
Just
weird
yesterday-
plant puppet.
just yesterday, the Seventh Rule premiered the episode Deep Space Nine, episode 20 of season 6, His Way,
Good.
with special guest Ira Stephen Bear and Nana Visitor. And it is a glorious episode, a glorious discussion. It's amazing. We loved it. Go check it out. It is now premiered. You can go watch it on the Seventh Rule channel.
People
Tell
were
your
raving
friends.
about it last night.
Yeah,
when came
it
out.
is.
It's so
Those two are amazing.
What a freaking treat
Okay.
in life. Such
And,
I'm treasuring that review forever.
Tomorrow, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we have 420, dude. Wait, 420, bro. Falling Towers special guest is Kelly Park and her brand new baby.
Aww.
I know. And the baby steals the show.
Yay.
I won't say when. Stay tuned for that. That's tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be reviewing a new show on HBO Max entitled Our Flag Means Death.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot who suggested that one, but
That's
check
scary.
it out.
Didn't you say like 5
That's
people
tomorrow.
suggested it? That was one with
Maybe.
like a bunch of suggestions.
Maybe. No, I think that may have been the next week.
Mhm.
So stay tuned for that. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. Then on Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, go back to the Seventh Rule YouTube channel and check out our review of Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 8. Man, we talk about how, I'm just kidding. We haven't seen it yet, so we don't know anything about it, but we will watch it and review it and premiere it on Thursday. Then on Friday, come right back here for Star Trek and Chill live, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's gonna be live. It's gonna be so much fun. Our special guest will be, let's see, who do we want as a special guest? Mike McMahon.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if we haven't asked and we don't know, but that would be cool.
That'd be very cool.
See, come on, we're kissing up to him right now.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah. No, actually, he's knee deep in production, so I'm sure he's not available. But check that out. Then on Sunday, the Seventh Rule premieres our episode of Deep Space Nine. That's a lot of Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 25, The Sound of Her Voice.
Yeah.
That is at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. That is a very good one. Check that out. And then right after that, what do we have, Muhammad?
We have BioTrekkie with the Admiral on the BioTrekkie YouTube channel. So come check it out. Jane won't be there, but I'll be there in the chat. And we're going to be going over Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episodes 10 and 11. So that'll be the second to last episode, or the second to last episode of the BioTrekkie with the Admiral.
Guest or something this week?
The special guest, the following for May 1st, the special guest.
But also, you're the special guest because you were.
Anne Marie is the spoiler queen. She keeps bringing up stuff that we're
because
not
it was
supposed to talk
announced
about
already.
yet.
It's fine. I'd said it in the chat
already
last.
announced.
Yeah, it's fair.
It's a teaser.
It's gonna be Jane and me for this one.
But also, these are like Muhammad heavy episodes with the hydrocarbons.
That's true. This
stuff.
one is the one where I talk a lot about
Amazing.
the hydrocarbons and stuff. So.
Ooh.
Wow, awesome. Awesome.
Can't wait.
So come for the sound of our voice, stay for the hydrocarbons, everybody. That is your 420 week for you, everybody. Man, you should enjoy your 420 holiday and then join us on Falling Towers Walks the first at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Here is the answer to the big question that everybody got. It's D, helmsman. Helmsman.
And an amazing helmsman.
Is there no show at 420 on 420?
Huh? There's the WTF episode.
At 420?
It's
No.
somewhere.
Maybe we'll post something
At 420.
at 420.
Well, Medallion asks about fart hydrocarbons. Actually, that does come up. Amazingly.
Wow.
Big surprise. Muhammad's always talking about farts. Everybody knows him. Maybe that's the guy that loves talking about farts and hydrocarbons.
Well, are farts a pheromone?
So, Dr. Muhammad Noor, where can everybody go track you down on the internet?
Sure, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Mofnoor, M like Michael, A, F like Frank, Noor, and like November, OOR, or on YouTube as BioTrekkie.
Wayne says, happy 420 Eve, dude. Happy 420 Eve, bro. Kimberspore says, Blazing Bev. Beverly, you're blazing it again. And Terry Rose says, Blazing Bev. Melissa, where can everybody track you down online should you choose to be tracked? Where are you leaving breadcrumbs?
On the social media places in Baseballs, and Melissa Longo is me, and Walking Art made by Melissa, and I always draw a blank.
Someone celebrated a little early today.
Seventh rule.
The seventh rule, and the YouTube, and sometimes watch the first, and sometimes on Virtual TrekCon. Here in the live chats.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, where can everybody track you down should you choose to be tracked?
On Twitter at Anne-Marie Siegel 1.
He's number
Oh.
one.
That was easy. And everybody at home, you can check me out on right here on the Virtual TrekCon YouTube page or the Falling Tower YouTube page, which has over 1 million subscribers already. Are you one of them? If you're not, you're practically the minority. I don't even think we have more than 1.1 million people on the whole planet, probably. So
Yeah,
you're in the minority
seriously.
at this point. Something like that. Math is weird. I'll bet you there are 1 or 2 people out there that'll be like, yup, he's right, And if you keep walking, you'll walk right off the earth.
Mhm.
So you could also find me, of course, on the 7th Rule with our good buddy, Mr. Sirach Lofton. Those are all the YouTube channels and the social medias. Please go check that out. Please make sure to like this video and comment below on whatever you want to talk about. The special guests that are going to be joining the Captain WORF series, if there is one, if you're excited about that at all. Talk to us about Riker and Troy. What's going on with those 2 rascals? Who knows?
Ferengi comment.
And Medallion says ganja is life. Well, that's cool. So I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Thanks everybody at home. We will see you next time. And when you want to talk about ganja and life, put it on the main viewer.